During a fight, if a woman grabs a man's private part, her hand was supposed to be cut off. My friends, Deuteronomy chapter 25 talks about honor and power and God's memory. Deuteronomy 25 teaches us how God looks at power. God does not support jungle justice. He does not allow people to punish others just to satisfy ego or to humiliate them. Even when someone is guilty, God sets a limit so that a punishment must fit into the offense. And so when punishment goes beyond that limit, it becomes abusive, not justice. And so God was saying clearly in this book, the authority must never be used to break another human being. Alright, so because we see a scenario where somebody is dealt a blow and a punch for offenses committed, and the blow and the punch was disproportionate to what was actually done. And so God is talking about abuse of power, abuse of authority. And also we see God speak about a brother stepping in to continue the lineage of his brother who has died. And this was not really about romance or convenience or incense. It was God. To God, it was about continuity. See, God values legacy and He hates waste. He does not like a name to disappear from the earth if it can still be preserved. And so when a man refuses this responsibility, in Israel, it was called shameful. And this is why we need to look at God's intention, why this is done. It's not because God wanted to force him, but because he was rejecting purpose and responsibility and the opportunity to create continuity in his lineage, especially for his brother. And the intention there is the thirst or the desire for continuity, for productivity, for continuity. So next, we also see a very hard instruction. And we see a scenario there that during a fight, if a woman grabs a man's private part, her hand was supposed to be cut off. It sounds very brutal, but what God was trying to achieve there, he was protecting the fruitfulness, because it mattered to him, the fruitfulness of a generation. Man's seed represents his future, his productivity, and his lineage. And so to attack it in anger is to attack life itself, to attack possibilities. So God was saying that do not weaponize another man's future. And so that's why it was grievous. If a woman did that, her hands were to be chopped off. That was it for. But what was God's intention, as brutal as that looked, is to preserve the sanctity of the man, to preserve his sexualization, is to preserve his productivity, his possibilities. And so to attack it was very wicked in itself, if you think about it now. And at the end, God speaks also about Amalek. He reminds Israel how that they were attacked when they were weak and tired. And God tells them not to forget and says that they should, because see, what he's trying to say in essence is that God can groom you to be strong so that you can clap back at the enemy and offer judgment, brutal judgment at them later. See, that's why I say vengeance is of God. God can still use you as the instrument to deal out vengeance even to the enemy that has oppressed you before. That is, the enemy that are too strong for you formerly. You can now be groomed by God to be more stronger than those enemies, of course, by the help of God. So also it shows us that, God allows us to grow very strong, just not just to survive. That is, the things that we have gone through, all the things we have been passing through, is God grooming us to be stronger. That's why we mustn't joke with process. So, and why is He making us strong? So that we can execute judgment on what once oppressed us. What He's saying in essence is God does not forget cruelty dealt on us, and He's waiting for the right time. So we must learn from this book that power must be controlled, justice must be measured, life and fruitfulness must be honored. And God keeps record. Even when time passes, what God remembers, He eventually addresses. And God never forgets. Thank you for listening. I hope this blessed you. See you in the next chapter.